your honest, sonsy face. Great chieftain o' the pudden race. I've been the ma you take your place, pinch, tripe or train. Well, are you worthy o' a grace as lang as me earn? Your groaning trenches there you fill, your hurdies like a distant hill, your pin would help mend a mill in time o' need, and through your pores your dews distil like amber bead. His nice sae rustic labour dicht, and cut you up wi' ready slicht, trenching your gushing entrails brecht like ony ditch. But then, oh, what a sight! Warm, reeking, and rich. Then horn for horn they stretch and strive, deal take the hindmost, on they drive, till the wheel-swelled kites belied are bent like drums. The old goodman's maist like to rive. We think it hums. Well, is there that hour is French ragout, or olio that would staw a sou, or fricassee that would mak her spew, a perfect scunner, looks doon with sneering scornfu view on sick a dinner? Poor devil, see him ower his trash, as feckless as a withered rash. His spindle shank a good whiplash, his neve a knit, and through bloody flood or field to dash. Oh, how unfit! But mark the rustic haggis fed. The trembling earth resounds its tread. Clap is while the neve a blade he'll mak it whistle, and legs and arms and heads he'll sned like taps o' thistles. Your powers fa mak mankind your care, and dish them out their bill of fare. All Scotland wants nearly a skinking ware that jups in luggies. But if you wish her grateful prayer, here a haggis.
Anyway, that's enough of that. Good evening, all. How about that for a bit of culture? Robbie Burns night. How about that? Celebrating the haggis. Evening Rag McNabbas. So there we go. What a wonderful evening. Absolutely fantastic here at Corleone Gundogs down in sunny Cornwall. We like to celebrate with the Scottish, not about rabbits. We won't talk about rabbits, or shall we talk about rabbits? Shall we talk about rabbits? About not being able to take dogs on rabbits? Oh, it's a subject, isn't it? It's a bloody subject, that, isn't it? So, me and Sue are celebrating. As you can see, red-faced again, as normal. There she is. She's in the house, look. My hair looks a mess after putting my hood up, doesn't it? We're celebrating sitting in front of a fire. We put the fire on because we're burning our haggis on the fire. What do they say? What do they say in Scotland? Anybody here from Scotland? Anybody here? Oh, we got Peter Piper in from Scotland. Come on. Haggis, needs and tatties. Come on. What else? What else? What sauce are you going to put on it? You're going to put sauce on it. It's freaking vile. It's evil. Aye. Says Kater. Aye. Aye. So we have two people in the house from Scotland, have we? Well, don't say we haven't celebrated your evening. It's one of your most favourite evenings, isn't it? Other than getting pissed on Hogmanay. No sauce required, says Peter Piper. You dirty heathen. You dirty bloody heathen. Iron Brew, says Steve Pace. Yeah, you need that to swing it down with. Anyway, never mind the bollocks. Shush your dog. Oh, I was going to show you something. Just give us a second. I'll only be a second. Talk amongst yourselves. You normally do. Ah, my leg. Ah, ah, ah. Anyway, Chris Upton back in the house. Anyway, we were talking about in the group, we were talking about promotion and selling things and what helps you with your dog training. And one of the trainers out there is promoting his cap. And he's promoting his cap and saying that with this, it makes you a better dog trainer. And the thing is, I've been around for quite a while. One of the traits that a lot of these girls, especially started off by the Labrador girls rather than the Spaniel girls, is they have a trait with a flat cap or a peak cap. You see what I'm doing? I'm sending you a message here. And if your dog moves off the spot, right, flat cap Phil, have a cap with bollocks written all over it. So what I'm going to do, instead of having, I mean, we got the cups, haven't we? We give them away, don't we, for good service and good videos you put up. And, you know, Chris Upton with Corleone Gundogs, you know, we do a little bit of advertising. But do we sell them or do we give them away? Do we sell them or do we give them away? Do you think we should start selling merchandise? This cup filled with coffee will make you think quicker in the morning when you're training your dog. There's coffee in here. Coffee. Bloody coffee. To try and keep my heart going. You got to earn them, says Steve. There you go. So, okay, but I've come up with a fantastic idea. Just imagine, you've got to earn it. That's it. Just imagine that people saw you training in the field with a Corleone hat on. Hey, who wants a Corleone hat? Chris has come up with a brilliant idea. Right? You would be seen a mile off with this hat. But I need your input. I need to know if you guys or girls would wear it. And then we'll talk about the price, shall we? Great minds, Gary. What does Gary say? You have to earn them. There you go. So anyway, I've got a Corleone mug. Who's got a Corleone mug? Anybody got a Corleone mug? Anybody earned it? Do you know what? I'm looking yellow under that light. It looked like I'd had a stroke. Hang on. It's gone pink again now. Bright yellow and pink. Do you know what? Do you know what, Richard? Richard, I would not be surprised with what you wear after watching you at freaking that party trick. Tracy Dodge, yes, she'd wear it, yes. Okay, so this is the new Corleone hat. Hey, eat your heart out, Ben Randall. How about that? How about that? Who's gonna wear it? Imagine that in front of the freaking dog. It's gonna keep you with you, isn't it? Hey, look at me. Look at me. You won't need freaking food with one of these, will you? You might lose your freaking nose.
Michael's not going to wear it.
Michael. Why not? Fuck off, says Peter. I'm not wearing that. You Irish boys and Scottish boys. Peter Taylor. Oh no, it was Peter Taylor. I thought it was Peter. Listen, the jocks wear their hats at Christmas. You've seen their hats, haven't you? Rabsy McNesbitt. What's wrong with that? Do you think about the technology I've thought about this? Look. Hey, look at me. Anyway, all I could say, you look like Santa's little helper, says Paul Jarvis. I think you're all just taking the piss, personally. I just thought it was a great idea. And for people who are a little bit shy, you can throw it back there, can't you? You look like Trek then, don't I? I like it at the front. It takes me after the picture a little bit, doesn't it, really? Oh no, that's a little bit too high, isn't it? Anyway, look at that. Okay, so that's it, Michael. That's what I was thinking. I was trying to please the Irish and the Scottish with a leprechaun. Oh, top of the morning. Anyway, on that note, perhaps that idea has gone out the window. Perhaps it didn't work. Perhaps that was a waste of time. Do you know, I lay there some mornings and I think, what can I come up with next? What can I come up with? I mean, okay, then let's have a rundown. Would you pay $1.99 for that? Would you pay $1.99 for it? No. What if I signed it? They've all gone quiet. No, says Peter Taylor. Peter Taylor, you've got no style at all. Ben Doolan, no chance. What are you on about? So why would a flat cap with somebody's initials of their training? If I put Corleone across the top of a flat cap, do you think that would help you or your dog? Hang on, says Peter Paper said if someone paid me to wear it, yeah, how much? David Jones said he wouldn't want it if it was free. David, in Wales, I've seen far worse than that.
Well, Steve says you don't have a teapot anymore.
A lot, says Peter Piper. A lot. You know what? You haven't got a sense of humour. You haven't got a sense of humour. Anyway, talk about rabbits. What a freaking joke, you Scots. How are you putting up with that shit? That you can't go out hunting rabbits with pet dogs? How many times have you been out hunting with your gun and seen loads of pet dogs chasing rabbits? I think it must be a terrible thing. What happens with squirrels? They didn't bring in a squirrel law, did they? What if you said you were short-sighted? You thought it was a squirrel. I mean, what are you going to do with all this vermin? What are you going to do when you've got no fields with any produce on there?
No more than 2 dogs allowed.
No more than 2 dogs allowed. Well, it doesn't bother me. I never go out with more than 2 dogs, unless I'm going out with a mate. But what about if you're all on a training evening? Oh, Gary Marriott's in the house. You could do a Corleone Mankini. He needs a new one, says Gary. Oh, Jesus Christ. Imagine that, eh? We could have a Mankini where you've got to be nuts to train the Corleone way. Okay. Loads of pet dogs, not on leads, chasing sheep up our way. There you go. They got far more problems, haven't they, than thinking, hang on, that furry little friend don't want to be chased because it's a bunny wunny. The world's gone frigging mad. The world's gone frigging mad. Being Scotland, do rabbits identify as squirrels? This is the thing, isn't it? That's not a rabbit. In my opinion, that is not a rabbit. Can you imagine policing it? Can you imagine they got nothing better to do than drive around the countryside looking for a man working his dog, flushing a few rabbits?
Oh, the fluffies will.
Oh, the fluffies. Oh, you won't be able to put up videos. You have to put a disclaimer on it, wouldn't you? You have to put, this was 5 years ago. This was before the idiot Cranky got involved. You know what? It's no different, though, is it, than the law they're trying to bring in about kids being able to decide whether they want to be a boy, girl, or fish, at the age of 3. Unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable. I mean, never mind the bollocks, shush your dog. Never mind the bollocks, shush your brain, you freaking idiot sturgeon. Honestly, she's got no freaking idea, has she? Hey, who let her in? You lot. I'll tell you what, the faster we build that wall up and we add some bricks to it, I'll tell you what, it's just like we've got to become more PC and more tolerant with each other's interests. What a total waste of Scottish money, SNP, almost as bad as the Welsh Labour clueless. Exactly, David. Exactly. Have you heard the latest in this country? The government gave Pfizer the right to just throw anything into the injections and give it to us on the grounds that he can't be sued. Pfizer cannot be sued because the government gave them the right to just pump anything into us because we want to be the first to be injected. Freaking great fun in it, eh? And there's me now suffering. And my doctor says, it's a conspiracy theory, Mr. Upton. Everybody thinks that every illness they've got is to do with the COVID jab. Well, freaking lot of people are dropping dead, but we're not allowed to talk about it. We're not allowed to talk about it because it's a conspiracy theory. I think the conspiracy theory is when they tell you that unless you have the jab, you're going to all end up not being here. Well, that's not quite the case, is it? Anyway, I don't want to go on to the jab. I mean, I'll just become so political. She's in the background trying to pull me away from that because
Michael McLaughlin said he's not up to date on this rabbit thing. Have they banned hunting rabbits in Scotland with the dogs then?
No, Ireland. They've banned you carrying a ukulele. Is a ukulele? No, that's the thing you freaking play, isn't it? What's that freaking thing called? Oh no, that's the Welsh, isn't it? That's, you know, one of them sticks. Come on, David Jones will be able to help us here. David, what's them Welsh things called? They put them on, and you beat your kids with them, and you hang them up by the fireplace. And you used to put wooden clogs by the fireplace, didn't you? What's that? What's it called, David? Come on, help us. I'm trying to help out this what? Erling stick, Peter Taylor. What are you on about? No, there's a freaking Crummett. What? Peter Piper. That's Scottish, isn't it? That's the one, Nigel Moore. Thank God for that. He's in Germany and he freaking knows. David Jones ain't even got a freaking clue. He goes, well, you what? Yeah, remember them? My grandma used to have one. I used to say, what's that for, Grandma? She says, you touch it and you'll see. And then she told me what it's there for. I thought, David Jones, question mark, look. I thought you were Welsh. I thought you were Welsh, David. I thought that was perhaps it's up North Wales. Perhaps in southern Wales they're nice to people. It's northern Wales where they're horrible. Stop it. Stop it. You'll be causing a fight in a minute. Peter Taylor's been watching the hurling game. What? Yeah, so the point is, it's Scotland. They're trying to bring in these laws that, you know, 11-year-old kids can decide whether they want to be a girl, boy, or a freaking unicorn. I think I want to be a rabbit. But, you know, you can't chase rabbits. David Jones, I led a privileged life bringing silver spoon.
You know, I led a privileged upbringing, the silver spoon.
He had a silver spoon in his mouth, did he?
Gentry.
Or a fairy, says Paul Jarvis. Yeah, exactly. He could be a fairy now. Yeah. Hey, it's not a laughing matter, is it? You can't. If you go into hospital and say, okay, which ward do we put him in? Him. Oh my God, you can't say that. You can't say what. They go. Which ward would you like to go into? I'd like to go into the fairy ward, please. I just think the world's gone frigging mad. I might as well stick my frigging hat on and pretend I am a frigging pixie. I might get treated better, might I? I might get better health service at the moment. The doctor says, Mr. Upton, you're a conspiracy theorist. I thought, I'm not. I'm a freaking dog trainer. Well, I used to be. Conspiracy theorist? You have to have a degree to be a... Honestly, when you listen to what the government have fed us, absolute shite. They tell us sugar's good for us, don't they? They tell us smoking's good for us. And then they turn around and go, no, it's not. After freaking doing it for 40 years, they now tell you black coffee's good for you. Well, I don't know. I'll let you know later. So Steve Pace said he had a silver spoon across his arse for fucking that. You had posh parents then, Steve. Hey? Posh parents. I had a leather strap and I loved it. And I've been into leather ever since. Honestly, every time my dad got his belt out, I went, oh, I love leather. For some reason, he hit me harder. But guess what, though? I don't need counselling. I got over it. I nicked the spoon, Chris. There you go. Oh, they nicked the spoon. I thought you nicked the spoon, and that's why you got it. I'm hoping last time you went to hospital, they asked you if you could be pregnant as part of your questionnaire. Paul Cocker, are you having a dig at me because I'm fat? Honestly, this is supposed to be a dog training site. This is not, let's take the piss out of Chris. No, Chris. Well done, Paul. That's all right then, Paul, because I was just about to put you in fucking... I was just about, for a second, Paul, I was about to put you in timeout. How about that? See that, everyone? Paul Cocker has been put into timeout for up to 300 seconds so you can say what the friggin' hell you like about him. What do you think about Paul Cocker, everybody? He's in timeout. He can't hear us. The power of the internet, eh? If I get triggered, I can put you in timeout. I bet he's frigging thinking, I can't hear him. Oh, he might be able to hear me, but he can't frigging say nothing. You're going to melt, Chris. You're a snowflake. He says, I did. No, you can say it, Gary. You can say it. I'll cope with it. Honestly, I'm getting softer as I'm getting older. Let's see when he's back in then. Let's see. Paul, when you're back in, any chance of talking to us? Paul, cheers, mate. Are you back yet, Paul? You must have had 30. That 300 seconds it's like for ages, isn't it? 300 seconds, a bit like my heartbeat. My resting heartbeat is come down to 21 seconds. Is it 21 or 31? Pulse. My pulse rate. She said it's not your heartbeat. That's what Sol says. Sol says you're not a doctor. I thought, freaking no shit, Sherlock. That's what he said to me on the live feed. I haven't. Oh, he's back. He's back. Look, he's back. Paul, did you realise you're in timeout then for 30 seconds? You've just been put on the naughty step, Paul. Anybody else want to go on the naughty step for 30 seconds? Some great videos with Jeff on the moor, Chris. Yeah, it's been fantastic actually to be able to get up on the moor, and now I've got gout again. And do you know why I've got gout? Because of you bastards on Wednesday night. Sunday night. I was only going to have that much whiskey, and I drank the bottle. Now, okay, the bottle was only that big, but I drank the bottle, and I've had gout ever since. Tommy the Mad Scotsman's in the house. Tell me, anybody watch Tommy the Mad Scotsman's video? Are you still freaking shaking like that with watching that freaking video? Because if I sat here talking like this and doing that, I'm freaking sure you'd switch off. I felt giddy then. Chris, if it's beating every 23 seconds, you're likely dead. Eh?
Your heart, if it's beating, it's your pulse rate.
It's my pulse rate, Michael. Sorry. Michael, I'm looking for a doctor. Any advice? I tried asking Sol. I spoke to Sol privately and asked Sol, and he said I wouldn't worry about it too much. He then come back and said, "Well, my missus, who is in the medicals, said I would go and get it checked because it is low." Well, it's supposed to it's supposed to be pumping the blood to your head, and if you're not getting the blood to your head, you get dizzy spells. And I'm thinking, was it just me, or was Tommy's video giving me dizzy spells? Tommy the Mad Scotsman, was it giving me dizzy spells, or was it giving everybody?
Well, Graham said yes and then shut my eyes.
Yeah. David Jones said he threw up. Yeah. I was like, Christ, I was beginning to think it was just me. You're dead right, Peter Taylor. Gout is the worst pain in the world. I haven't got it in the toe. I haven't got it in the. Everyone says, "Oh, that's not gout. You haven't got it there. You haven't got it there." It's in the joints. It's in the joints between the ankle. When you move your ankle like that, it's in the joints. And I tell you what, it is so painful. Well done, Barry Lamb. Congratulations and happy Burns night to you, sir. I see you had an award in the trial. Well done, boy. Well done. If you're not in it, you can't win it. Never mind the bollocks. Show us your dog. That's what I say. Anyway, as you know, at Corleone Gundogs, you don't get these if you pay $1.99 for them, do you? You have to earn them, don't you? You have to earn them, don't you? You have to show us your dog, put up the videos, or win it. And what did I say? What did I say with that? Is it BG? Can somebody help me? Is it the initials BG? BT, Big Gob? Yes, BG, isn't it? Can you tell me, by putting a flat cap, by putting a baseball cap on your head, do you think that makes you a better dog trainer? Yes or no? By putting a baseball cap on your head, do you think that makes you a better dog trainer?
Well, it's all right if you're having a bad air day, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank God for you lot, because I was sitting there thinking, that is fake freaking news. And technically you can get taken down for fake news. And so I've only ever met a few women, and I'm not being sexist here. I haven't actually seen blokes doing it. and they got big Labradors, and the dog goes wrong, and they've been taught by certain so-called film star trainers, because I've asked them, who taught you that? Oh, so-and-so. It's what we all do. Oh, do you? You race out to the dog. I don't think you all do. I don't think you all do. And I think it's just shite again. It's just shite. It's like tie the front feet up of the dog and it won't run in. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. And if you put up videos saying what you need to do, you need to get the dog to switch off and go to sleep on the peg. The dog is no good on the peg if it goes to sleep. What's the point in having a dog if it goes to sleep on the peg? And it's called an Arga dog. Is it? Is it? You've got to put the wood burner on before it moves. BG buys Gundogs. Exactly. Buy Gundogs. Buy him in. Buy him in Gundogs. Yeah. But do you know what? Am I the only one who will talk about it openly? And I don't want a bitch fight, but bring it on if you want to debate with me. If you're training pets and you want them to fall to sleep, then perhaps go down that road of boring the shit out of them. But with a dog, whether you want it for competition or you want it to work in the field, you need a bit of desire and a bit of drive. You need it to want to watch the birds down and have the desire to want to go and fetch it. If you haven't, in my opinion, you're not training very well. If you have to suppress drive because you're scared of drive, but why can't you be honest and say, okay, I understand there are certain people out there who've got a gun dog and they would like to call it a gun dog, but they've never taken it anywhere where there's had temptation. And so you're using a food bowl to teach it to sit, to teach it to fetch. Chris, a few weeks back, I wrote in about my dog not switching off when out on the ducks. Ooh. The lab in your last video would be similar scenario. Was there a correction put in? I've been working on this. Yes, there was, Malcolm. A correction is put in. When we want a dog to sit nice and calm and switch off, if it fidgets, we put a correction in to teach it it's not acceptable. Now, that correction can be called lots of different things. It can be called punishment, discipline. You can call it what you want. Today's society, people like what's his name here? BG gives you tips. BG tips. Hang on, you get done for that, couldn't you? BG tips. I thought that's been used already, isn't it? Frigging teabagging people. Oh, don't talk about teabagging. Stop. Oh, they're PG tips. Sorry, dyslexic. See, you can really confuse me. Thank God I got the wife in the background. Thank God we got the wife in the background. So anyway, going back to that, at the end of the day, you can confuse people, can't you? If you say everything can be done with love and affection. Love and affection. Let's ask Barry. Barry's in the house. He's just picked up an award, hasn't he? Hey, Barry Lamb. Let me ask you a question. I can see we're watching your videos. You love your dogs. You and your dogs have got a bond. Have you ever used discipline, Barry? Have you ever used discipline on any of those dogs? Now we put him under the spotlight, don't we? He's probably gone now. Barry, are you there? Okay, so Barry might have left the auditorium.
He could also be writing.
Oh, Sue said he could also be writing. Or texting. Or Googling. Is he still there? Okay, obviously he's not there. I'm talking to myself now. Is anybody else there? So could anybody on here admit that you've used discipline for your dogs? Could you just say yes if you've used discipline? I don't want to know what discipline you've used. I just want a yes or a no. Have you trained your dog without any discipline? Bloody hell. Honestly. Just imagine they could take me out with an air rifle. Of course. And yet appropriate. See, you had to be different, Graham Allison, didn't you? And Marriott, look at him, look. And Karen, look. I said yes or no. Honestly, cheese. Yeah, that's it. Now it's getting freaking cheesy. So great. Thanks for your honesty, everyone. We're all bastards, says Peter Piper. Exactly. Exactly. Isn't it funny, isn't it, how they turn it around? And do you know what? For people like him, who we're talking about, to be saying everything's done with love and affection, great. Do you really believe that? When the dog doesn't listen and runs in? But it does never run in. I've never had a dog run in my life. Well, that's funny, because I've been to trials where you've been put out because your dog moved. You didn't have your food bowl with you that day, did you?
Or is that? You know about it then?
Oh, we had a hat on. We have better dogs for it. Exactly. Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's like everything in life, isn't it? If we have to deny we do it, then we shouldn't be doing it. It's as simple as that. But there's exactly what people have said on here, in proportion. The crowd's negative, so they learn to avoid the negative and work for the positive. But as soon as you start talking about that subject, you're going to lose viewers, and that's what I accept. I accept there would be people on here listening, having a laugh, and they'll go, "What? He uses discipline? I'm going." Well, fuck off. Off you go. Well, that's funny, because we had 38 people in here. Now we got 46. Some people like discipline. Discipline was part and parcel of life for me at school. Discipline was part of life for me at home. Discipline, I got paid if I went to work. I didn't get paid if I didn't go to work. I soon worked out that if you don't go to work, you don't get paid. Simple as that. And life is full of discipline, isn't it? And if we didn't have discipline, and we didn't have rules, and we didn't have boundaries, Sue's laughing. She said it would be lovely, we'd have anarchy.
No, I didn't say that.
She didn't say that. She was laughing and said we'd have anarchy. When she was laughing, being dyslexic, I thought she enjoyed it. See, I can't win, can I? I tell all the people that contact me about training that I'm not a force-free, positive-only trainer. I use discipline, don't hide it. Exactly. Gary said, sad thing is, it will take a lot of training, to sort out that shit out, and will cost the client a lot of money to sort out.
Well, his message before was...
Gary's back. Barry's back in the house. Everything outdoors. You're there. Sorry, Barry.
I tried to answer, but wouldn't let me post.
Isn't that funny, Barry? Isn't that funny? You're there. Everything outdoors. Tried to answer, but wouldn't let me post, Chris. Right. What I asked is if you ever use discipline. I was asking everybody, but I was asking you, Barry, because you'd won an award in competition, and I've seen your dogs, and they're pacey, and they enjoy hunting with you. And I know you enjoy your dogs, and I was just literally in our group. We know we all use discipline, but at the end of the day, to pretend as a dog trainer you don't use discipline and everything is done positive, and that's why the dogs do everything so wonderfully well, is absolute load of shite. And when you watch his commentary of his own video of the championship where he won the championship, you listen to him saying that the dog got under every bit of cover. No, it didn't. Watch the video. Did he have a good run? Yes, it did. But don't freaking try and mislead me. And the dog marked every bird down and went straight out without any handling. Hang on, I watched you handle the dog on the first bird. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, we're not all as gullible. We're not all that gullible. You know. Yes, depending on the dog, almost every time I train, but it's forms of discipline. Exactly, Barry. Sorry, Barry, no problem about the spelling. I'm dyslexic myself, and I know how difficult it is. And we got a few people in the house who struggle with spelling. One thing I was going to ask you, Barry, next time I've seen you, I'll mention it on here. I enjoyed them chats where you sat down with, was it John Bailey you sat down with and chatted to, and a number of other trainers. I just thought I thought that was going to work well, and it's a shame it didn't carry on. Why didn't you carry on with it, Barry? Was it because, you can just put yes or no, was it because people weren't willing to come forward and speak the truth? Or not even get involved in conversation with Gundog people, because I think that we should be more open and upfront, and I think we should talk about the subject in an honest, open way. Else we're gonna not pass it on for the next generation, and the next generation, if they don't know how to discipline a dog, when to use a correction and when not to use a correction, and when to use gameplay. And the thing is, you've got to have an open mind. If you haven't got an open mind and you're flogging an ideology, that becomes a farce. That becomes a joke. It's no different than the government with this COVID stuff. They're not putting out the information of how many people are injured through the COVID jab. They're not allowing freedom of speech on the media, because they're saying you'll be closed down, you will have your license taken off you if you're a doctor and you speak out against the COVID jab. That's wrong. How can we learn if people are suppressed from giving their opinion, if people are bullied into suppression? And that's the problem, isn't it? We talk about freedom of speech, the right to give your opinion. I can give my opinion on here and I can be wrong. That's not false information. I can be wrong. I could go back how many 100 years and say, the world was flat, the world was round. Well, hang on, prove it. At the time, you couldn't prove it. Now we can prove it, can't we? But dog training is theory until proven. When you've had success and you've achieved success and you've helped others achieve success, I think then you can start talking about it a little bit. But just because I give my opinion on the internet doesn't mean I'm right. But at least you know where I stand. At least you know where I am as a person, who I am as a person. And then you can make up your own decision, because I wouldn't be watching something I don't like. And I've put on lots of stuff and I think, oh, that's crap. Can't be bothered to listen to that. And I switch it off. But I'm interested in many forms of dog training, so I watch so much of it. But when I get feedback from so many people telling me that they've joined this app or whatever, and or they've followed this trainer and nothing, it's not working, and they can't work out where it's working, you want to break it down and listen to the bullshit. And if you think buying a cap with his initials across the cap is going to make you a better dog trainer, then you need to rethink. Because you are living, like Susie Two Shoes says in the background, in cloud cuckoo land. That's where you're living. Now you could say, well, hang on, how come you're having a go at someone who's been successful? Well, be honest. That's all I'm asking. Be honest. Because I know him a lot better than people think. And he's not the person he's trying to be. But have I a right to my opinion? Well, he has his right to talk about me, and that's what he's done. I have to accept he's got a right to talk about me. He said to a number of people years ago when I first came here, and the Shooting Times did a page on me here. He came here and did a page on me about my gun dog business. He said, look at these dogs. They live outside. They haven't got a kennel. That's because they were in an outside run and we hadn't put the kennel roof on them at the time, but they were indoors in kennels. But it just shows how people can be so nasty when they see somebody getting a bit of promotion through the media, and it makes them jealous. This was before he'd won. This is when he was running around with his arse out buying dogs from all the film stars in the Gundog world. Now, guess what? I can get sued if I tell lies. I can get sued. And it could cost me a lot of money. But you can't sue somebody for telling the truth. But should we not mention the truth? Should we not say nothing about the truth? Or should we say, the way it is? Well, no, because it was a bit like the boxing the other night with Eubank. Eubank. And it got personal, didn't it? Where he said, are you gay? Have you not got a missus? And I'm thinking, there's no need for that shit. And then Eubank come in and said, yeah, but you're having an affair. It's going around that you're having affairs. I thought, how pathetic. Just get in the ring and freaking box. That's what I want to watch. I want to watch a boxing match. And when I did watch the boxing match, I was quite pleased that Eubank got his mouth slapped and a lump on his head, because he's an arrogant little shit. Now, that's my opinion. He might be the nicest chap in the world, but I don't think so. I think he's privileged. I think he's lived off his name from his father. Now, he might come round and give me a slapping because, you know, I'm talking out of tune. No, I'm not. I'm giving my opinion. I'm giving my opinion. I think the liver pudding lad gave him a good hiding, but he covered up the liver pudding lad and let Eubank get cocky, and then he opened up and floored him. That's quality. Now, I don't know if any of you are into the boxing, but I'm into lots of different things. I'm into mud wrestling, naked women, mud wrestling. I love it. Anybody else got a little bit of a kink in them? Everything outdoors, just
Barry came back though.
Sorry, Barry. Yeah, go on.
He said, because you asked about juice or whatever, it was lockdown, a lot of travelling, Chris. I've still plans to talk about trials and the journeys. There's plenty of top boys who want to speak things, but the thing is, I don't want to concentrate on the one thing. And he also came back, said, just to clarify, sometimes discipline a dog is just a raise of the boys. As you know, it depends on the dog and the situation.
Totally agree. But other times you've got to get out after them and say, that's not acceptable. You're now pushing boundaries that I don't want you to push. Else you create a bigger problem. And we need to be honest about it. Could Malcolm Austin please say what is the big famous BG correction?
Paul Jarvis said, do cockers need more correction than other dogs? They are little bastards.
No, they don't, Paul.
No, because Kieran said it
depends on the dog. Exactly, Kieran. Depends on the dog, Paul. In my opinion, our dogs need discipline more than softer dogs. But guess what? If you go soft on a soft dog, the soft dog learn to play you as well. There is a big difference. But how would you know if you've not been there and done it? Outdoors, what would be great is a training chat when I get to 100 subs. A man of your knowledge could teach us a lot, Chris. The problem is we've had this discussion before, Barry. You've asked me if you could interview me, and I said you need to interview other people first before you interview me, because you'll not get a following if you follow me compared to some people. It's a bit like I won't mention. I was going to mention their names then. There's a good quality trainer in Scotland who's got a lot of following, and I know you used to train with him. Barry.
Michael's got a question. Do aggressive tendencies come down the bitch line or the sire line?
Do aggressive tendencies come down the bitch line or the sire line? I think it can come down either line. I would think if you've got it in the line. Barry Lamb, he's go on then, Barry, plug it. Tell them what you're plugging. We've got 450 now subs. Freaking hell, you take on the Russians with 450 subs. Ukrainians only want 300 tanks. You've got 450 subs. Bloody hell. Hope you've got some nuclear. Everything outdoors, he says. Oh my God, he's doing naked titty training outdoors. Oh no. Tell him more. Some man, outdoors some man. Barry, you're gonna have to get this freaking sorted. This is like freaking it's like keeping everybody on the edge of the freaking seat. I mean, we have one member talking in the live feed last week. I'm not going to mention who he is. He's talking about women on tractors and how it turns him on watching them bounce on tractors. We won't say who it is. We'll save the blushes for later. But that's what we talk about in private, don't we, everyone? Nice, says Paul Jarvis. Honestly, have you seen them on the tractors? The suspension them tractors have got, but I tell you what, they still move. Unless they're just laughing. Anyway, 44 minutes. Any questions about dog training tonight? Because obviously I'm just rambling again, like normal.
No, but
welding style. Oh no, let's go into welding, Graham. Okay, let's ask the question, shall we? We're not mentioning who it is. We're going to save his. What about welding? See, so they're all on it now. See, these were the boys in here on the live feed. Does women welders turn you on? Does anybody get turned on by watching a woman welding? This is the question I've got to ask. Don't mention the guy's name who was talking about it, please. Doctor, no. Doctor, no. No. Women builders, says Paul Jarvis. Look at that. Hod carriers. He loves them. The bigger the muscles, the better. Okay, so there's only Gary Wilkes hasn't messed about as the ruthless. I think Gary Wilkes. I'm dyslexic. You know that, and I think we should stick to our area of what we're good at. I think personally, I'm reasonably good at reading a dog, reading a situation, and communicating with somebody in a video to show you how to get the dog to a good standard and get success. I think Gary Wilkes is an absolute master of the pen. But I asked him a question. He was talking about people who should proof or re-go over anything they write about dog training or trying to sell themselves on the internet or whatever. And I said, well, I've got a problem. I'm dyslexic. And he said, you can't get your computer to check things over, but the computer's not got the skill set to look at my dyslexic mind and try and work out the words, because you'll be people who have got spelling problems. And do you know what? I haven't met a computer yet that can go, hang on, Chris, let me sort that out. And there's a few people in the group who struggle from that, but I make the effort. And I don't mind being laughed at as long as you don't mind being laughed at. So if you want to rubbish me, I don't mind. I've been rubbished all my life about me spelling. I'm dyslexic. I could have hid behind a tree and never ever said a word, but no, I've done my best. But my brain doesn't think the same as everybody else. Now, it doesn't matter how much you hit me with a stick. You're not going to get me to be better at spelling by hitting me with a stick, because I might take the stick off you and hit you back, right? But the difference is we're not hitting dogs because they don't understand. This is what people don't understand. We are using discipline, correction at the right time. And as soon as you use those two dirty words, people go, oh, no, he's being cruel. And at the end of the day, we first teach the behavior. Once we've taught the behavior, and that's exactly the same as my children. I taught them the behavior that I expected. If they went wrong, there was consequences. It wasn't smacking them all the time, but discipline was used, whether it was, right, you're going to bed early. Right, you're having a few days in and not seeing your friends. Or you push the barrier. On the odd occasion, oh, I'm going to get hung for this. On the odd occasion, I used slight bit of pain. A slight bit of pain. I had that.
Took the Game Boys away.
Took the Game Boys away, says Sue. And they didn't like it. But I had an open mind. I didn't do what my father did, but I don't condemn my father for using discipline on me. It didn't help me. In some ways. In other ways, it did. But I didn't hold baggage. And let's ask the question. Let's ask this question for anybody watching thinking, this is unreal. These people are talking in a different way. Everybody who has said they've used discipline, when you've used discipline, does your dog hate you and doesn't want to come near you? Or does it sometimes make that bond stronger? But does your dog fear you? I just want a yes or no. Does your dog fear you by using discipline? Exactly, Karen. That's why I wanted to leave that in there. No, it makes him love me more. Exactly. And I'm going to say something in a minute that's going to upset people. I'm going to say something that is going to upset people, but work this out for psychology. I come from a rough area in Normanton, Derby. When I was a kid, I didn't have countryside. I didn't have mummy and daddy and Daisy making daisy chains and learning about the countryside. I was a townie. I was a roughhead. I got brought up streetwise. I was a roughhead. I had to change my lifestyle to be a better person. How many people I used to hang around with who used to slap women around? And you've got to be careful here, because a lot of my friends were coloured friends, and they used to treat women, degrade women, in my opinion. But you know what? For some reason, those women thought those blokes loved them because they beat them, or they slapped them around, or they abused them. It's a funny old world, isn't it? Isn't it a funny old world when we've got the capacity as humans to know when to get out, know when somebody's just abusing you? Well, the poor dog can't, can it? But what I'm saying is, dogs are different in some ways, Paul, but dogs don't have a way out. If someone wants to abuse them, they can't run around the corner and go, "I'm leaving you," and tell a police officer. These days, when I was a kid, when we were growing up and we were teenagers, if you were married or you had a domestic with your girlfriend, as long as you did it indoors, the police wouldn't get involved. They would come around and go, "It's none of our concern." And over the years, it's changed, hasn't it? And I think it's changed for the better, because you've got people who bully, and that's not acceptable, and people who slap women around, it's not acceptable. And they've changed it. But isn't it funny when you look at the percentages of police officers who have been reported for slapping their wives? I thought they were the good guys. I thought they were the guys who take you into a police station and take a statement from your wife or your girlfriend if you get slapped around.
Perhaps it's the environment they're in.
Exactly what Sue said. It's the environment they're from. And I'm not rubbishing all police officers. Lots of people under stress and pressure. But if you're in charge and you've been taught to be assertive, then you're going to be assertive to whatever. And I've seen it here. And I'm not rubbishing in a nasty way. I'm just saying, I look at the science, I look at the facts. And the facts are, the majority of police officers that have been here, I've had to say, hang on, calm down. Think, teach the dog, don't bully the dog. Now, you don't see that police officer who had 40 cases. Yeah, I tell you, a count of rape. I tell you what, it's exactly the same, Ben, as this shooting is coming on the news about this Plymouth lad. And his parents went to the police station and told them he should not have guns because of his mental health. How ridiculous that they didn't follow that up. Okay, you could say his dad hated him and he just wanted to have his guns took off him. But you would look into it, wouldn't you? You would look into it if you were a caring society. Those lives could have been saved. Those lives could have been saved if the right action had been taken. If people are informing the police of antisocial behavior or mental change in their child or their family, you'd think, let's have a look at it. It wasn't even passed on. That is disgraceful. The father said in the report in court today that he went into the police station, reported the situation, said he was concerned, and they never followed it up. Michael, thank you very much indeed. Any man slapping a woman ain't a man in my book. Exactly, Michael. And it's back to those subjects that nobody really wants to talk about, isn't it? Nobody really wants to talk about. Because at the end of the day, do you have a better relationship by beating your missus into submission when she doesn't want to freaking agree with you? No. Do women do your head in on the odd occasion? Yes or no, please? Who's got the balls to say it? Who's got the balls to say yes or no? Do women do your head in on the odd occasion? Thank God for that, David. We have a man in the house. Yeah. Right. So now let's ask another question.
What's your answer?
Do us men do your head in on the odd occasion? No, don't say all the time. Karen says no. Ailey's sat here. You ball dropper. And the whole answer is yes. I don't know. You know, we do, don't we? We can be pig-headed just as much as any woman can be pig-headed. And yet, yes, 100%.
Times 1,000%.
Do you know what? I thought we were going to be married for another 20 years. She's just dropped that percentage by about 19.5. Exactly, Gary. Exactly. Exactly, Tracy. We all piss each other off, don't we? And at the end of the day, it's how we cope with it, isn't it? It's how we cope with it. Why would you want? Why? It's a lottery, isn't it? You look at a pedigree for a dog before you buy a dog. Well, some people do. Some people just buy anything. Same as some people just marry anything. I mean, some people only marry into money, don't they? Remember that? When you, oh, what's the dowry? You know, the 2 cows and a sheep. Oh no, that's for you boys up north. Oh, what? I mean, you boys in Wales, it's have you got a dag? No, not Wales. That's Ireland. Have you got a dag? So what? Do you know what? My head's going round and round in freaking circles. I'm just going down so many rabbit holes. I'm going to hang myself in a minute, aren't I? Rabbit holes? Rabbit holes. You can't chase a rabbit at the moment.
Well, Paul Jarvis says he does his own editing.
It's the year of the rabbit. Yeah. Paul Jarvis does his own edit. And I think at the end of the day, what gets you out of trouble? Come on, you girls and boys. What gets you out of trouble? There's one thing that can get you out of trouble, isn't there? Flowers, chocolate, typical freaking woman. Flowers and chocolate.
Sorry.
No.
Kisses. Hugs.
If Ailey had a gun and 2 bullets in the room with Bin Laden, she'd shoot me twice. Tolerance, flowers. Ben Doolin, I like you. Sex, mate. You're right. Sex. No, you're all wrong. Yeah, Barry's had enough. Kindness, says Steve. Understanding and compassion. No. Friggin' humour. If you haven't got a sense of humour, you're fucked. Am I right? Sense of humour. Some of the things that Sue does, if I didn't laugh, I'd have a big bruise on the top of my frickin' head every time I smash my head on the desk. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. Yes, Kieran, exactly. You've got to laugh. If you've got a sense of humour, you can get over most things, can't you? And that's the point, isn't it? There you go. Yes, mine's a bit warped. That's it. There's nothing wrong with a warped mind, is there? But at the end of the day, I think Barry came on here because he wanted to listen about dog training. He wanted to learn about dog training, and you've done his head in. You've done his head in. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what background you come from. It doesn't mean if you're not happy, you can take it out on the wife, does it? Or you can take it out on the children. Oh, he's back in again. I thought he'd left the room. You can't. You're not allowed to take it out on the wife. You're not allowed to take it out on the children, and you're not allowed to take it out on the dog. Else you're a bullying bastard, and you shouldn't have any, should you? Or you need seriously educated. It's as simple as that. But can we have a sense of humour? Why not? Why can't we have a sense of humour? Because all the shit that you have to deal with, and we didn't have this when we were kids. We went out. We had a bike. I had a few bikes, actually. I used to meet them on a Saturday night and dump them out on Sunday evening, Sunday morning. Can you say that these days? No, you can't. That's sexist, Chris. That's sexist. No, I'm on about a chopper. Who had a chopper? I had a chopper. She says you haven't got one now. Stop it. The village bike. Stop it, Paul Jarvis. I tell you, I went down that rabbit hole and then I tried to bury myself out of it. I started digging like crazy to find another exit. Here I go. Here Michael says, Wednesday nights should be advertised as a little bit of relationship, a bit of life, and a little bit of dog training, and a load of sex. Exactly, Michael. Michael, that's exactly what keeps that relationship going. Plenty of sex. That's Sue. A woman never tells. A woman never tells. With an added bit of bollocks. Stop it. Twisted sex. Gary Marriott. Tell me more. Tell me more. David Jones is going, look, honestly. See, the Welsh can't cope with it. He's thinking about sheep. Good night, David. You can't say that anymore. You can't say that. You can't stereotype people these days, can you? See, we're on sex again. It's not my fault, is it? It's not my fault, is it? We're on sex again. Bollocks, I'm off. Good night, says David Jones. Honestly, we've only got 33 people in the house. Let's see who doesn't get any sex. Let's see who leaves before we should. No, I understand completely that you've had an hour and I've just talked a load of shite tonight. I keep telling Ailey I want 2 things in life: to be financially secure and a 7-inch willy instead of this bloody monster. Aren't you lucky? Aren't you lucky, Kieran, eh? Hey? Hey? You're going to have... Kieran, can you take a photo and show us? Anyway, on that note, Chris Upton is signing off. And I don't know where the hour's gone. I haven't even started talking about the real things. What I was going to talk about. But never mind. Hope you've enjoyed this evening. Chris Upton and Sue leaving the auditorium. And we hope to see you. You must be financially secure then, Karen. This is it, isn't it? This is it. Bollocks and good night to you all. And thanks for tuning in. Next week I will have a shave. All right. I'll try and tidy myself up. Good night all. Chris Upton signing off. Have you said good night, Susan?
I'm doing it.